You got into business because you want to change the world. You want to transform people's lives, whether it's to have them have better health or to increase their income or have better relationships, whatever it is, you want to transform people's lives. But let me ask you, how do you personally handle change? Hi, and welcome to Biz Success in 15. I'm your host, Cindy J, the Visibility Wiz, and I'm here to guide you as you step into who you are with outrageous confidence for more visibility, influence, and profits. You can get your visibility checklist at visibilitychecklist.com today. So, we're talking about overcoming the fear of change. And you might think, well, what does this have to do for a business podcast, right? Because you can only grow your business as fast as you grow yourself. And if you're afraid of change, how are you going to develop the habits needed for you to create the business of your dreams? If you're afraid of change, how are you going to step into who you need to be to have what you want? So, first, let's go over some of the reasons why we fear change. Number one, it moves you out of your comfort zone. Even if it's not ideal, if let's say you're making 20K a year in your business, it might not be ideal. You might be aiming for 100K a year in your business. However, you have learned to survive on the 20K. It's familiar, it's predictable, and you might even feel a sense of loyalty to the people around you. Perhaps you think that if you grew too quickly, that your family and friends might diss you, or that you might lose some of your family and friends, or they might try to knock you down. All of this involves you being afraid to move out of your comfort zone. The second reason why you may fear change is loss of control. Whenever you think of change, you are totally stepping out of your comfort zone, and you might not feel like you have control over anything at all. And you don't know what's going to happen. You are, number three, stepping into the unknown. You're stepping into the unknown. You have no idea what's going to happen. You've never been there before. And number four is you're uncertain. Know that we fear change because it means that, again, the outcomes are unknown. We lose control because the outcomes are unknown. And we are afraid of stepping out of our comfort zone for those reasons. Now, understand that our brains are designed to find peace in knowing. Whenever we wake up in the morning, we have a sense of peace knowing that whenever we step out of the bed, that we're going to step onto a carpet or a floor. We have peace in knowing that whenever we walk into our kitchen, that we can turn on water and drink water. It's we expect all this stuff. I know that every morning, my husband, he brings me a bottle of water every morning. So it's the first thing that I drink whenever I wake up, right? I'm used to this. It's all uh, habits. It's our life habits. And whenever we step out of our life habits, we're changing. And this can be personal and business. If you're earning 20K, what do you have to do differently to earn 40K or to earn 100K? What daily habits do you need to change? Perhaps instead of watching your daily soap opera, maybe you need to hop online and engage with potential customers, right? All of these are habits, and it's change because we live our life by habits. Interestingly, neuroscience has shown that uncertainty feels similar to failure in our brains. Let me repeat that. Uncertainty feels similar to failure in our brains. So no wonder we're afraid of change, because to us change is uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen. It's the fear of the unknown, the loss of control. And we think, oh my God, if we're not in control, we are failing. And nobody wants to fail. And if it's feeling that way in our brains, it can get really, really nerve-wracking. Now, interestingly, only 62% of the population is afraid of change. 62%. So what about the other 38%? The other 38% have learned to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. They have learned to be comfortable and to keep on going and to face fears every day. Bob Proctor once said that the difference between a successful person and a non-successful person is that a successful person is willing to do what the non-successful people are not willing to do. Bob Proctor said that he hated flying in planes. He hated flying. But this man flew all over the place to give seminars because he knew he had to go where his clients were in order to maintain his business. So therefore, he got comfortable with what he wasn't comfortable with. So how do we do that? It's just practice. It's taking that deep breath and just going with it. It's saying, it's reminding ourselves, we're okay, we're okay, we're okay. Now understand, change is going to happen whether you go with it or not. There is no certainty in life. There's no certainty that we're not going to get into an accident, or people around us aren't going to get into accidents, or we're not going to lose people we love, or there's no certainty, even if you have a 9-to-5 job, that you're going to have that 9-to-5 job today. And even if you have this wonderful client that you've had for years, that is the 50% of your income, there's no guarantee that that client's going to be there next month. Again, you don't know what's going to happen to that client, and you don't know what's going to happen to you. A lot of you know that in January of 2022, I came down with severe COVID. I was in ICU for 3 weeks and almost died. This changed my life instantly. But also because it took me so long to recover, most of my clients found other coaches. They didn't know how long I was going to be out, and they didn't want to stall their business because I was ill. And so things are going to happen, and you have to know that. You have to be okay with the change. One change that I definitely was not ready for is after COVID, I lost 95% of my hair. Okay, so 95%. And there it is. Now, before COVID, I had hair, and this was terrifying to me because I handled being sick better than I handled losing my hair. It was one of the worst changes of my life. So therefore, when I still had to show up on camera, I had a client that I had to show up on camera for him every week. And I had to maintain my own business. I had to find new clients. I had to keep serving the clients that I did have. And so I had to show up. And I didn't want to show up looking like this bald. So therefore, I bought a wig. And you would think that maybe the wig made me feel a little bit better. But I felt so unnatural. I felt so uncomfortable. Now, whenever you're talking to people and you feel uncomfortable, it's like the elephant in the room. They know something's off and they don't know what, but they know that something's off, and this can decrease how much they trust you. So therefore, every time I got on camera, I would tell people, hey, I lost my hair. I'm wearing a wig. I really don't feel comfortable in it. I didn't feel like me. But wearing the wig to me was better than being bald. I felt less uncomfortable wearing the wig than not having hair. And you have to decide when you are, whenever you face change, you have choices. because change is going to happen. Can you imagine how boring our world would be if people never changed? If there was no technology, if there was no radio, no TV, no internet, no computers? I mean, all of this change has happened in the past 100 years. So we don't want to stay the same, and we were not actually born to stay the same. However, the way our chemicals are in our body, whenever changes happen, we start going danger, 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 danger. And and then we either have to freeze or we have to face our fear and go with it. Um, what was it that Kennedy said? The the only thing to fear is fear itself. So know that change is going to happen, just like me losing my hair. It's going to happen, and you have to learn how to go with it. You might lose clients, you might get new clients. Something might happen to somebody else in your family that you have to take care of. Change is going to happen. So, and not all change is bad. We change every single day because we learn new things. So, what I would like you to do is to take 15 minutes and jot down 5 positive changes that happened in the past year. Now, these can be either personal or business related. Every time you get a new client, that's a change because now you need to map out time to serve that client. Every time you get a new collaborative partner in your business, that's a change, and you need to work with that partner. Think of all the changes you do constantly that you may think, oh, those are nothing, they're little, but we need to look at them and realize and be grateful for these changes and understand what happened, and that, hey, we are a different person today than we were yesterday. We're a different person a year ago than we are today. So if I write down my own 5 changes that has happened in the past year, number 1, I began broadcasting Biz Success in 15 on Everyday Woman TV. So I joined several other women hosts that we all together want to transform the world. We want to help people live happier, healthier, better lives. I also hosted 3 summits and met many, many wonderful people. I learned how to storytell so I could sell more. I love telling stories. I have tons of stories to tell, but I did not know how to tell them in a way to really create the change and the transformation and to influence people the way I had wanted to. And this is still a work in progress. I'm learning more every single day. Number 3, I began weekly day trips with my hubby. I began broadcasting Everyday Women TV. I hosted 3 summits, met many, learned, began my day trips with my hubby. And number 4, my hair has grown back thicker and curlier than ever. So whenever you start thinking of what you did, do this periodically. Even if you start doing it every single month and you think back of the previous month and you think, what do I do today that I didn't do a month ago? This is how you grow. This is how you become who you need to be to reach that next level, to reach that next goal. So if you're earning 20K and you want to earn 40K, you need to start changing little daily habits, and you need to step out of your comfort zone. You need to change. Change is growth. Change is good. So keep reminding yourself every time something happens that's changed, that it's a good thing. That you have the power to make any change be a good thing versus a bad thing. And sometimes it's hard, especially if we're talking about the death of a loved one. This is a change. However, we are resilient. We are built to be resilient. We are built to deal with change. And it's so interesting that so much of us fear it. So start thinking of the positive ways that you've changed and start being grateful for this, because this will bring more positive change into your life. So tune in next week for another episode of Biz Success in 15, so you can step into who you are with outrageous confidence. And remember to get your visibility checklist at visibilitychecklist.com. Big hugs. See you next week. Bye-bye.